Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Moving up with the Miclettes.
Moving on up.
And welcome back to a brand new video. We ain't been here in like 4 months.
It's been a lot longer than 4 months.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 6.
Yes. And might I say, I'm loving the color on your lips.
Thank you very much.
I'm feeling that.
So hello, everyone. It's been quite a long time since both of us have appeared on camera for a while. You know, we've still been doing other things with the channel. Like I've been doing the savings challenges and other things of that sort. But actually, where y'all can see our pretty faces and stuff, we haven't done this in a while.
Yes. And might I add, you've been crushing it with your videos, your stuffing, envelope stuffing videos, your savings challenge videos, and props to you. You've been doing it. You've been doing it.
Yes.
Not to mention she's been recording, editing, posting, pretty much all by herself.
Yes, I know how to edit now.
Look at you.
All big up props to you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So this is Joseph.
And you are Sherri, and we are moving up with the Miclettes.
Yes. So thank you for tuning in.
Now, we have a very special video for you all. And it's one of those videos that if we're going to come back with any video, it's got to be a video. It's got to be a topic like today's topic, right? So, what is today's topic?
So, as of 10/1, we made our last Discover loan payment of about $8,352 and a little bit of change. Finally clearing out our debt.
That's right, everybody. Debt-free. Debt-free. Can we pause on that one time? Yes. It's one of those things that you've got to celebrate, clap some hands, pop some bottles, 2 high fives, 3 high fives, double high fives.
Pew, 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 pew.
Not the pew pews. Man,
yes, the pew pews.
For those of you who have ever paid off your debt and you are now debt free, you know exactly how we might be feeling right now.
Yes.
And you know exactly why this video is important. And yeah. We're there now.
Yes. So when it cleared on about October 4th, it was almost a surreal moment because we've been trying to pay off this debt since July 3rd of 2019.
Yeah.
So on July 3rd, 2019, we actually sat down, wrote down all of our debts, and we were like, okay, we got about $110,000. So for the past, how many years is that?
3.
2, 3 years?
3.
Okay.
3 years. Almost 3.5. Well,
okay.
Almost 3.5.
So yeah, all of that time we've been side hustling. We've been,
saving, investing,
late night gigs, back-to-back weekends.
Yep.
So we've been hustling.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of us and just proud to say that we're finally debt free.
So real quick for the viewers out there, on that last payment, that October 4th payment, or October 1st, what was the total amount that you dropped on that very last installment, and what was the initial feeling that came along with that last payment?
So like I said, it was $8,352 and I think 49 cents. And we were sitting at the kitchen table and it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to, because we did it on a weekend. And I'm like, I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to submit this payment. So I submitted the payment and it was kind of like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. So it was, like I said, a surreal moment, but I don't know. And I don't know if it was because it was so late we didn't get up. I mean, we high-fived and we're like, oh, babe, we're done. But, we wasn't popping no bottles that night.
No, we should have.
Yeah.
But it was that moment where that feeling of relief.
Yeah.
That finally, because again, we had been working for 3+ years now in trying to clear all that debt. And we'll share how much that debt was in a moment. But, just that feeling of, this is what we've been working towards, and now we're there.
Yeah.
And now we get to enjoy the fruit of that labor, right? Now we get to enjoy the reward. And it doesn't mean that we stop. right? Doesn't mean that we stop doing the things that we're doing. Doesn't mean that we stop doing the things that helped us get there. It just now means that we can now do more with what we already have and that we're bringing in, right? And we'll get into that.
Exactly. And we could take a breath and plan a vacation.
Yes, because we already done that.
Exactly. We got a couple of trips planned for next year.
We started that process, you know.
But so it was, like I said, about 110,000, a little bit over, you know, that we were in debt. And of that, about 74,000 was remodeling loan. So we remodeled our home, added a new, you know, suite for us. So
added square footage to the house.
Exactly. And then with that also came credit card loans, because we still didn't have enough of what we took out for a loan for to pay it off. Because you got to understand, living in California, trying to remodel.
the Bay Area specifically, right?
Trying to remodel is almost like purchasing a new home, even though you're adding like 500 square feet. Yeah. So, you know, with the remodel, the credit cards started shooting up, and
if I could, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. But with that, as you know, once you start adding more to your credit card, that interest starts accumulating, and now it's like you paying $300, $400, $500 a month, and it's just the interest. It's just that, and it's like, oh snap, now I'm falling deeper into that hole. Exactly. How am I going to dig myself out?
Yeah, and it was like we'd make a payment and be like, okay, we just made a payment, but it was like, man, like it didn't do anything. Yeah. So you know, I think that, and just constantly seeing that, it was just a frustration that we were like, you know what, we're done with it. Yeah. And the night that I was laying on the bed, and somehow a Dave Ramsey video popped up, you know, and I was listening to it and actually got intrigued from it. And he was just like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. He's kind of rude. So, but, you know, just listening to him and the stories he was telling was funny. And whether you follow Dave Ramsey or not, whatever your, you know,
it's not even personal. So much whether you like Dave Ramsey or dislike Dave Ramsey. It's more about the message is this has to be done. Exactly. Like if you are trying to establish long-term generational wealth, or you're just trying to be out of debt, like let's keep it real. Like there are some things that you've got to come to terms with that you are responsible for. Yeah. And it was that moment where we said enough is enough. Like we make good money and yet we're in this debt. Yeah. We don't go spending frivolously and yet we're in this debt. We are not gambling and yet we're in this debt, and something has to be done. And that's in that moment where you just have to look yourself in the mirror, write everything down, be transparent with yourselves, and recognize we have to take the first step. And that was the first step. And
I think that's basically what Dave Ramsey is kind of teaching, is the starting point. Yeah. So that was kind of what motivated us to go ahead and start this journey. Yeah. And, you know, so we started the snowball method, and we were like intense on it for a while, you know, and then I think probably 2021, we kind of like, okay, I'm tired of just paying debt. You know, let's, you know, for us, we kind of decided at that point for us, because it was our personal, you know, decision, let's go ahead and do a hybrid model. Yeah. So we probably could have been done with paying off our debt a lot sooner, probably last year sometime. Absolutely. But we also decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and start saving for our emergency fund now. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start investing now. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start investing for our children now, and starting their, you know, UTMA accounts and UGMA accounts. Yeah,
that was actually in January of 2020. Okay. That was January of 2020, because I remember we were sitting right here on this bedroom floor and saying, look, we're paying down debt, but that's not going to be enough, right? Yeah, we could have paid down this debt a year ago. We could have been debt free for the last year, but that would have meant that we would not have been investing into our own future. That means that we would not have been investing into our own Roth IRAs. That would have meant that we would not have been investing into our children's custodials. And like you said, we would not have been putting money into our emergency funds and other savings accounts. Yeah. So January of 2020, before COVID shut everything down, that is when we made the commitment. We are going to continue paying down debt, but we're going to do a hybrid model. Yeah.
And so that worked for us. Yes. And, you know, our other accounts continued to grow while we were still pulling down the debt. Yep. And, you know, it worked. And let me just say, In regards to the years, I swear when you get older, everything feels like it just happened. So, like, pardon me if I'm saying, oh, yeah, it was just last year. It's like 5 years ago. But you know what I mean? So, yes. And with us being debt-free, how do you feel?
It feels great. It's a little surreal only because I know that this has been a long journey for us, right? And I also recognize that being debt-free means different things for different people, right? Like, yes, we're still putting money on credit cards, right? Or I should say, yes, we're still putting purchases on credit cards. We're still putting vacations and family trips on credit cards. And we're still going to the grocery store and buying groceries on credit cards. But we're paying them off.
Yes.
Right? Like we're
that
exactly
either that week or like, the next couple days.
Or within that payment cycle, right?
Yes.
Within that payment cycle, we're paying them off, right? And that is something that you have to come to terms with as well. Okay. It's okay to use credit cards, but be responsible with how you use them and recognize that you can't let that money sit there for 5, 6, 7 months to turn into a year, to turn into 2 years, to turn into 5 years. Exactly. Because then you give yourself the ability and the opportunity to just keep throwing more purchases on that credit card. Now your balance has gone back up to $6,000, $10,000.
Exactly.
And then you're back at square one.
And it's very easy to get into that cycle, but it is kind of a mindset shift and, just being understanding, okay, I put this purchase on here. Let me go ahead and transfer the money over that I already have saved for it and pay it off. Like, don't get into the habit again of, constantly having a balance on your cards.
Yeah. And it feels great. It does. It does feel great knowing that we've achieved this major accomplishment for ourselves. This was a goal that we had for ourselves. We've reached that goal. Now we have 15 other things that we have to do, right? Because that's how it is. Like, the journey is never over. Like, exactly. You have other things to do now that you're debt free. Okay, now we got to keep doing this. We got to add more to our investments account. We have to add more to our emergency fund. We have to add more to this fund. We have to add more to this. There's so much more to do. Exactly. So much more to do, So let's talk a little bit about how we got here, right? What are some steps that we took? What are some actions that provided us the ability to become debt free? What are some things that we did that that generated income for us to throw more money at our debt?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, I was doing things like Instacart and, Pure Romance for a little bit. And, but, and, that brought in some money, and of course that went to debt, or it went to like a bill that was coming up that, all of a sudden just popped up out of nowhere. So the money was always put to good use, but the majority of it always went to debt. And also with you starting your entertainment company.
Yep. So with starting J. Miclette Entertainment, initially 2018 it was like 3 events, and then 2019 that turned into like another 4 or 5 events, and then I joined iMobile DJs in 2019 going into 2020, and of course COVID shut a lot of stuff down, so we couldn't really make the income from DJing side hustle because a lot of stuff was shut down, right? And that lasted really until 2021. So over the last year and a half, really going back to summer of 2021, probably have made anywhere between $20,000 to $35,000 just in DJing, right? And so again, that's not DJing at the clubs. That's not DJing at nightclubs. That's not DJing at bars where you get paid a drink ticket, right? And I'm not gonna throw the business out there, but this is doing private events and weddings and parties and corporate events. And so you start seeing some money from DJing, and that's a possibility, right? Yeah. So with that money now meant we have more to throw at our debt. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to buy me speakers and other equipment and controllers and lights and things that would then return on the investment for the business. But we had a bigger goal. Yeah. Right? We had a goal. And so I recognized that making that sacrifice from a business perspective, we had to take care of our priority, which for us was paying down the debt. That was priority number one. That had to be done. So, that's something that for those of you who are business owners, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, or you have a side hustle, yes, you could always reinvest into that side hustle. Yes, you could always reinvest into that business, but you also got to remember you want to clear your personal debt, and you want to make sure that if that's your goal, you achieve that goal first.
Mm-hmm. And, now that we've paid off this debt, it's like, okay, well, what do we do now? Yeah. And we've, been talking, and we already have kind of had an idea like, once we have this extra money, then, we'll increase this and our emergency fund, increase investing and adding more to the kids, custodials and savings accounts. Yeah. So we kind of already have a plan, and that's really what you need. You need to have a plan. Like once you start having that extra money, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do with it now? Yeah. So you can't go in, thinking, the money's just going to sit there, because 9 times out of 10, if it's just sitting there, you're going to start spending it. Yep. So make sure you have that plan. So, for us, it's like we said, we're going to increase what's going to our emergency fund, increase what's going to, our savings accounts and things of that sort. Sorry, our puppy's down here kicking the camera. So I'm trying to keep him still.
That's another thing that's changed since the last time we saw y'all. We got a puppy. Yeah. Yes, we got a dog.
Yeah, he may make his appearance, but he's kind of asleep right now, so.
Just moving around.
Yeah. But, that's really it. It's just, having a place for our money to go now, increasing certain things, putting more money to the business now, starting in, 2023, which is right around the corner. Right. Increasing savings challenges and just things to help grow our wealth and put us in a better position, for the future.
With knowing that we also have other plans in regards to our future early retirement, that also means taking that money that we now have and putting it towards that emergency fund and putting it into some sort of high yield interest savings account, or maybe an investment account that's going to generate returns sooner than later, or just maybe more returns than it would be in a savings account, right? And that's because we do have that goal. We still have that plan of early retirement. So now that we have no debt, now we could take that money and put it into those vehicles that are going to generate more wealth down the road, right? And so create that plan, right? What is that plan? Once you become debt free, don't let that money sit there. You have to put it into some vehicle that's going to generate more income for you, or save at a higher interest rate, especially now with interest rates being even higher. This is a great time to take advantage of some of those high interest rate savings accounts.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to, bring this all together. What I would say is one of the main things you need to focus on during, a debt-free journey or whatever journey you're on is patience. There were so many times it's like, I want to just hurry up and get this paid off. And, nights just thinking about like, well, once we no longer have this debt, we'll have all this money. Yeah. The main thing is patience.
Big time.
Patience.
Big time.
You're going to need it.
Yeah. Patience and persistence.
Yes.
Because depending on how much you are in debt, it's going to feel like you're just never going to get it done, right? It feels like you're just never going to be debt free. Yeah. And you just have to stay persistent. It will happen as long as you keep doing what you're doing. As long as you keep earning more income or just paying it off, paying it down one step at a time, one payment at a time. Stay patient, like you said, and stay persistent. Yeah. Keep at it.
Yeah. And then also, it's okay if you need to take a little break, because there are some times we're like, you know what, I'm tired of putting all this money to debt. Like we could have, had this much money in our emergency fund or this much money here, and that's what we decided to do. So it's okay to take a break or pivot,
Pivot. There you go.
Pivot. It's okay to pivot, like what, your goal is for that time period, but with the ultimate goal still being of paying down debt.
Yeah. Keep that vision.
Yeah.
Keep that vision.
I was kind of more the one like looking at, the bills constantly going down. So I would just give him like an update, like, oh, we're at 25,000, or we're at 20,000, or we only have 15,000 more left. So, finally being able to just not have to worry about that, and being able to enjoy a little bit of the money coming in, and, finding other ways to make our money grow now is our ultimate goal.
Yeah. Something that also worked for us as part of our strategy was consolidating our debt. Mm-hmm. And something that we did in 2021 was refinancing.
Yes.
And so we took advantage of a very, very, very low interest rate mm-hmm. on a refinance. And yes, now we have another 30 years of mortgage to pay off, but 2.75.
Yeah.
2.75 interest rate for the next 30 years. We got in at what we would say at the right time, which meant that we could now reduce our monthly mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. And that allowed us to also throw more money at our debt, right? Yeah. So it's not only just about making more money. It's not always just a side hustle and saving, but look at other strategies that you can use to not get more money, but utilize the money you have in a more effective way, right? So refinancing for us definitely helped.
Yeah, that was about $800 we were able to get back. And we also got money at closing. So
yes,
it was a win-win.
Yep. So once again, thank you for joining us on our channel. This is a major, major accomplishment for us. Again, $110,000 of debt has been paid off. And that $110,000 weight has been lifted off of our chest. For all of you who have ever paid off your debt, congratulations. We now know how that feels. If we can do it, we know you can do it as well. Baby steps, snowball method, avalanche method, whatever strategy you're going to use, mm-hmm. it can be done.
And patience.
Yes. And persistence.
Yes.
All right. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. Moving Up with the Miclettes. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for all the love and support you've been showing Sherri on all of her videos that she's been doing over the last 10 months. And man, it feels good to finally be back on camera.
Yeah. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Remember, always be grateful for the blessings and have an abundant mindset at all times. Mm-hmm. And you'll go far with that.
Yep. And as always, keep moving up with the Miclettes.